はい、どうもRyoutaです。さあ、今日もアウターワールドやっていきたいと思います。さあ、前回の続きで、マスグレイブコレクションに行くっていうことなので、移動していきましょう。どこですか？船に戻るのか、一回。テラ2のビザンチウム。
Captain, transmission request from Ambrose Manor.
つないでくれ。
Captain, imagine my surprise when I saw the Unreliable leaving Gorgon with so much urgency and purpose. Tell me you found Mother's journal. I'm positively dying for good news.
誰かにゴルゴンから離れるよう警告され、あの場所を封鎖されてしまった。
Someone? You mean someone still has access to the facility? Oh, after all this time. Who was it?
スパイを歓迎できないスペーサーズチョイスの代理人かもしれない。
Of course. They know you're on the case and they're scrambling to cover their tracks. Good thinking, Captain. Make sure you have eyes on the back of your head. I doubt we've seen the last of this human vexation. If I know Spacer's choice, getting past the lockdown will be more complicated than just hitting a big red button. You'll need authorization and layers of it.
お母さんはパスワードや謎のキーカードの類を残していないのか？
No. I think you're going to have to rely on good old-fashioned detective work. It's a good thing you have keen senses, a reliable ship, and a very wealthy sponsor.
昔のゴルゴンの研究職員に知り合いはいないのか？
I seem to recall that Mother worked closely with Gorgon's R&D personnel, but not close enough to invite them over for dinner and cocktails, if you get my meaning. By now, they'll have moved on with their lives. If only I could do the same.
ゴルゴンでアドレナタイムを開発していたことは知ってた？
I knew Mother was involved with some important chemical trials, but I had no idea her pet project was adrenatime. Adrenatime is a working man's stimulant, like a caffeinoid. Very popular at launch, though the marketing quieted down over time.
アドレナタイムが略奪者を作ったという認識はあった？
What? No. I mean, there's some very morbid wording in the fine print, but I had no idea Adrenatime could make marauders out of people. That's it. That must be it. Spacer's Choice is keeping their dirty little secret about Adrenatime off the record. We have to find Mother's journal. If we don't, then Spacer's Choice gets away with murder. I only hope we aren't too late.
もう行かなくては。
Safe travels. If your leads give you any trouble, be sure and give them some trouble back, yes?
気に留めておくよ、また波に。
Ta!
びっくりした、なんかクエスト間違えて受けたのかと思った。失敗したかと思った。さあ、あちら側へ行かなきゃいけないけど、行くか。あれ？さあどこだ？こっちか。 おーっと行き止まり。おい、ちょっと待った。立ち入り禁止のとこ入っちゃった。おいおいおい、勘弁して勘弁して。なんかめっちゃ狙われてる、めっちゃ狙われてる。
Today marks a monumental occasion in the course of Halcyon history. After a deep and
失敗失敗。なんかめっちゃ狙われてる。危ねえ。
Welcome to the Musgrave family collection. Still a work in progress.
クレランスと話す。
Hey, slow down. What's the hurry? I'll tell you what I've told all the other guards. Mind your boots. Our floors are not made for armor. If you're here for the annual Canid review, I'm afraid it's already over. Only thing going on behind those doors is good, old-fashioned lawful behavior. This greeting constitutes your confidentiality agreement. You hereby agree not to disclose the location or existence of these events. Thank you for cooperating.
いいだろう。
Oh, that's just so encouraging to hear. I'll just go ahead and add your comment to my permanent record. Now then, how can I help you?
クレランス・モストリを探してる。
Mr. Mostly is indeed attending our event, although I am disappointed to discover he did not officially enter his Canid La Place into our competition. You should find Mr. Mostly just inside the prep room. Head inside and take the door to your left.
失礼。
Do you know the interesting thing about Canid shows?
いや、でもとにかく教えてくれるような気がしてる。
Good instincts. Mathematically speaking, the interesting thing about Canid shows is this. They're an exercise in futility. Winning is predetermined. Over time, the inevitable trend is that the race goes to the swift. Time and chance are just statistical outliers. In other words, if you put enough Canids through enough trials, the one with the most optimal attributes generally wins. Exercise in futility.
クレランス・モストリ
What gave me away? Wait, don't tell me. You've read my monograph, Putting the Us in Calculus, or How to Use Mathematics to Find Your Statistically Significant Other. I'm afraid I don't really do autographs, but yes, I am Clarence Mostly.
その名前には聞き覚えがある。モストリー高級家具会社だな。
Yes, that's us. Mostly oak trees, too. My grandfather invented them, you know. Well, no, he didn't invent mostly oaks, but he did purchase the naming rights back during the terraforming days. It's essentially the same thing.
プロジェクトゴルゴについての情報を探してる。
How do you know that name? Project Gorgon was supposed to be a secret.
口元に一発食らわされるまでは誰にだって秘密はあるものだ。
I see we're being rude. All right, have it your way. It's true, I was involved with Project Gorgon, but that chapter of my life is long since closed. Listen, I don't know what you want with Gorgon or with me, but let me give you some free advice, hmm? Let the past go. Live in the moment. Enjoy the party.
この後に及んでまだそんなこと言ってるのか。緊急封鎖を解除する方法を教えてくれ。
I was wondering if you were the sort of person to accept sensible advice or respond with threats of violence. Thank you for resolving that ambiguity for me. Lifting the lockdown won't be easy. You'll need to send overrides from the chem lab and human inquiry. I don't have that level of clearance, but I know two people who do. The trouble is, I don't know you. I don't trust you. I washed my hands of Gorgon, and you're asking me to dirty them all over again. I'm going to need a good reason.
クレランス、口元に一発食らわすって言っただろ。
Right, of course. Thank you for reminding me. Point well taken. I want a favor from you. Do something for me, and I'll do something for you. That way we don't have to rely on mutual trust. A grand prize trophy to the Canid Review. I want it in my hands. Get me that trophy, and I'll give you the remaining researchers. Names, locations, as much information as I have.
トロフィーか。犬競技は競技会はもう終わったはずだ。
Yes, but the winner is still in deliberation. Committee won't deliver a result for another 6 to 8 weeks. Bureaucracy. The trophy's being held in a vault at the other end of this hall. Find a way inside, disable any security, lift, carry, deliver. Simple as that.
盗んでこいと。
Don't think of it as theft. Think of it as appropriation by commission. My Canid, Laplace, is statistically superior to every other Canid in this review. Better average sprinting time, superior gait coefficient, optimal anatomical symmetry. I didn't bother entering little Laplace in this pointless contest. He's already won on paper, you see. That trophy rightfully belongs to him.
もっと、トロフィーを持ってすぐ戻る。
Head into the main hall and take the elevator down into the maintenance tunnels. You'll find a service passage that leads up into the trophy room. The maintenance tunnel is the only way up into the trophy room. Some technician barred the door shut on our end. Ask Tilda Coatsworth about it, over by the podium.
ここで待ってろ。トロフィー回収。エレベーターで、あれ？エレベーターで降りる。エレベーター、あそこか。
It's not canid hunting I object to, it's the impropriety.
エレベーターで降りる。お、作業台じゃん。ちょっと武器修理しとこう。
That was quick.
技術者のカード。あ、こっちか。見張りロボットがいる。見つかる？くそうまくできる。壊れた。ああダメだ。殴って復活させちゃったよ。 キーカードだ。
I sure hope these folks don't mind us borrowing this.
こっから出たらまずいかな。
You don't have to be scared of these canids, Captain. I don't think they're gonna hurt you.
あ、いたいたいた。
Never cared much for hors d'oeuvres. The word is just grotesque. All those superfluous letters ruin my appetite.
今日はついてるね、クラレンス。トロフィーを手に入れたよ。
My trophy! Look at this thing. Have you ever seen a more garish monument to the boredom of the elite? If only Grandfather Mostly were alive today, I would have loved to wave this trophy right in front of his cataracts. I hope you won't take it personally when I say I had my doubts about you. Nothing ever gets done in Byzantium, you see. Competent work is, well, a statistical anomaly.
約束したことは守った。今度はそちらが守る番。
Lifting the emergency lockdown requires overrides from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. Access to those facilities requires authorizations from 2 senior-level researchers. Marion Blakesley, Jasper Lowe. They went into hiding after the project collapsed, but I've managed to calculate their last known whereabouts within a reasonable margin of error.
統計分析を使って彼らの位置を割り出した。計算を見せろ。
I see you're familiar with my technique. I'd love to show you my numbers, but there aren't nearly enough napkins in this room. After the project shut down, I had to keep my mind occupied. I worked on my actuarial tables, calculated the average lifespan of a spacer's choice worker, that sort of thing. I realized some of the researchers had to be alive. I ran some numbers, did a little research, and concluded that the 2 most likely survivors are Marion Blakesley and Jasper Lowe.
プロジェクトゴルゴンから手を引くことはできなかったんだな。
Nonsense. I just needed a good old-fashioned statistical problem to busy my mind. Keeps the faculties lubricated.
他に生き残ってるのは2人の研究者だけなんだな。
As far as I know, Jasper Lowe and Marion Blakesley are the only 2 surviving researchers with high-level clearance. If you want to lift the lockdown on the manufactory, you'll need to send an override from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. I'm afraid it's the only way.
よし、OK。
Try to exercise caution. It's good for your lifespan.
あ、クラレンス、面倒見てくれるのか。
You did fetch a trophy for my little Laplace. Technically, that makes you my canid servant. And by the transitive property of employment, my responsibility.
へえ。
No need to sound so astonished. Now, Was there anything else?
それでこの目を見つけた。
My eye! I was wondering where I'd misplaced that old thing. It's perfectly preserved, you know. Every eye possesses unique dimensions, not unlike a fingerprint. The circumference, the shape, the color of the iris. An eye makes excellent proof of identification, assuming you don't mind removing one.
それでどうして目を失った？
I'd rather not get into the details. If Spacer's Choice ever asks you to test out their new model of monocle, just say no.
ほら目を返すよ。こんなものをポケットに入れておきたくはない。
Well, that's rather responsible of you. I'll put a good word in your permanent record.
じゃあもう行くよ。よし、とりあえず今日はここまでにしておこうかね。はい、この続きは次回やっていきます。それでは、さよなら。